And we're live. Welcome to the Thursday night live stream. How's everybody doing? It's, we're here. Going to answer a bunch of questions that came in from Patreon and from YouTube members. So we got all those. I think I got them all this time because I checked later. So that's pretty cool. And if you have guitar questions, you can get over there in the chat right behind me right here. And you will be able to answer or ask a bunch of questions. If you want to use a super chat, we will drop what we're doing and answer that question right away. As always, these are ad-free live streams, and they are supported by your super chats and your views and your likes and your shares and your comments. We're going to talk today about how our viewers on this channel have the coolest guitars.
Okay.
And I just want to talk, it's going to take a minute, we'll get there, but about how awesome. I did this experiment with this video this week, and I had some suspicions about YouTube, and my suspicions were borne out to be true. I am super stoked to have all of you. So we're going to talk about this in a minute. We have a couple of things going that I want to talk about before we get going. Another way to support the channel is you can use the links in the description, and that will also support the channel. The other thing you can do is you can go to Dylan Talks Tone and you can buy pickups. Now, one of the things that we're going to do from now on is instead of doing our drops on Saturday for cool things, we are going to do them on Thursday during the live stream. And can you really quick, because I didn't do this ahead of time, go to DylanTalksTone.com, please. And I'll show you what we dropped. This has been an absolute, this has been a request of everybody for quite a while. We've been doing the flamed humbuckers, the flamed enduros. So we've added 2 this week, and now these are limited. I don't have a ton of these things. So just so you know, but we've got the P90 soap bar in a hand-flamed nickel cover. Those are available as we speak, and we don't have many. So you better grab it. And then we also have Telecaster pickups done, the neck pickup done in the same way. So this is done by hand. This takes a really long time for me to do. This is not something.
Is that a picture?
Yeah, I took a photo.
Looks like sublimation. It's so bright.
Right? Yeah. I mean, these are neat, man. This takes a while. Like I literally have to sit there. It can't be rushed. I've tried to rush it, and the effect doesn't work. I've tried different heat sources. The effect doesn't work. It's like it's just kind of, the time has to take what it has to take. So that's why they're a little more expensive. And of course the parts are a little more expensive than a regular P90, but man, are they cool. And so go to the website right now. They're in the pickup vault, which is on the very front page. You click on the pickup vault and you'll be able to buy them there. So yeah, there you go. Super chat.
Super chat from Tazzy Tim. Thank you for the super chat, Tim. He said, "Good day, Leslie and Dylan. Pickups have arrived in Oz."
Nice. Very cool. Thank you for the super chat, Tim. And I'm glad to know that they made it. The other thing that has arrived is we had a very kind viewer send us another bottle of single malt whiskey from the Westward American Distillery. I think it's True Northwest, actually. And this stuff is really good. Now, I opened it and drank some earlier this week a couple times and shared it. And then somebody was like, "Are you going to be able to wait till..." And then the person who sent it is like, "Are you going to be able to wait till Thursday?" And I'm like, whoops, too late. It's really good. So I wanted to say thank you to the gentleman who chooses that I don't use his name in the live stream, but I appreciate you very much. These are the kind of gifts that we like. This, coffee, this kind of stuff. This is cool. Free guitars are neat, but we really appreciate this kind of stuff. So thank you so much. Okay. So, before we get to the Patreon questions, I just want to address this, and we can talk about this tonight if you want. I did this video yesterday where, because of all of the various videos that we've done lately, we've gotten a lot of, you talk about it, every time our audience bumps up a little bit, we get a lot of negative stuff because they kind of don't know how we roll around here. And we got a lot of that, right? From the Temu stuff and from the relicking stuff and some shorts that we've made lately and everything. So I did this video and I was like, I'm curious to know if I could get people that never comment to comment. I bet they're really cool. Because you know how we talk about this where like the squeaky wheel is the noisiest, but it's not the majority. Like the folks that probably are super cool, we never hear from them. They don't buy anything. They don't comment. They don't like anything. You know, I mean, I'll hit the like button. So we just never hear from them. But I bet they're super cool and they're out there, you know, out there watching. So we did this thing and I was like, please, if you've never commented on the video, on any video, please comment on this video. I want to know about you some. I don't remember. Let's see. We can look now. How many? Let's see. There's 6,000 views on that video since yesterday. And there are 308 comments, which is a lot. And the majority of the folks who commented were folks that have never commented on a video before, who have never, hey buddy, who have never corresponded with us before, maybe never bought pickups, maybe never anything. And I have to say that it was really cool to quote unquote meet you. And also, you have a bunch of really cool guitars. Everybody who commented had a bunch of really, really cool guitars. I don't care how much they cost. It's not about what they were. But I will say that the folks that talk negatively about various things or about my videos didn't even comment, and the ones that I've never heard from before are like, man, I have this guitar and it's cool. This is the only guitar I have. There was one guy who's like, I watched your videos and I'm not even a guitar player, and that was like 2 years ago, and now I have 20 guitars. Like, because he just got addicted. Like, that's what I'm talking about. So cool. And it was just so neat to see everybody talking about the stuff that they care about. And of course it was, you know, there was a whole bunch of stuff in there too about like, you know, what your other interests are and that kind of thing. And sure enough, there's a bunch of people that we've never heard from before for any reason who seem like really cool people, into some really neat hobbies, into some really neat stuff that if I was in person with them would be like, you have to tell me about that. We have to sit down and have a beer or whatever, chocolate milk, and talk about that. Like, well, some people don't drink beer.
So you went to chocolate milk?
I mean, sure. Soy milk?
It's better than chocolate milk.
Depends who you are, I suppose.
Me?
Anyways, it was really neat. And I just want to say thanks to everybody for doing that. And it makes me super stoked to have the community that we have. Because sometimes, and what it proves, there's a couple things it proves. One is that the majority of folks, probably who watch YouTube in general, not just our channel, are really cool. And the folks that you see in the comments making all kinds of noise that aren't cool are of a small minority. So just you remember that too. I have to remember that. And I think that's really, really neat. The other thing is that people make judgments about who they think watches our channel, and that only broke people who like cheap guitars and et cetera, watch our channel, because nobody can afford good guitars anymore. There's a lot of custom shop Gibsons. There's a lot of custom shop Fenders. There's a lot of VOS stuff. There's a lot of Squires too. A lot of modded stuff. A lot of neat things. My point is, there was a lot of folks in the comment section of that video who chose to invest in their hobby. who are like, even with inexpensive guitars, like, but I changed the tuners and I did this and this and this, and they're super into it. And it like didn't even matter. So it didn't matter if it was an inexpensive guitar or an expensive one. You could just tell that the people invested in their self and in their, in their craft. And I just think it's really cool. And the majority of folks that watch what we do are the ones that do that. So it was super fun for me. Somebody was like, nice try. You're just trying to get more hate in the comments. And I'm like, no. I genuinely like want to get to know y'all because it was super fun. I read every comment. Like it was super fun. So thanks for doing that. It was really neat. So there you go. That's what I got. And we can do Patreon questions and other questions and stuff.
Let's do it. Joe, does it matter where the pickups are grounded? On the toggle switch seems more convenient and tidy than the back of a pot.
So typically the chassis of a switch is not grounded. That's the only thing in the guitar that's not. A three-way toggle switch has a part of it that is grounded, and you could ground everything there. In fact, on like a Les Paul, I guess it is sometimes. Depends on how no, it's not, because it's grounded at the back of the pot. No, it still would be better to ground it on the back of the pot. A lot of times, like I said, the chassis of the switch, like on a Strat or a Tele especially, the chassis of the switch is not grounded. So it wouldn't even work anyway.
Matt, good evening, Dylan and Leslie. Can you explain how the middle switch position of a neck bridge pickup setup affects the output, volume, tone, sound versus output of just using the neck or bridge position alone? Thanks.
Absolutely. It cuts it in half of the lower of the two output of the pickups. So in electronics, when you wire two things in series, the resistance of both of them cascades in series and adds up. So if you have, we'll just make this super easy. So if you have two 8K pickups and you put them in series, they will become 16K, okay? And your output will go up. It will sound awesome. Like if you do it with two P90s, it sounds awesome. But most guitars are parallel. When you wire anything in parallel, the resistance cuts in half of one of the pickups, and it will typically be the lower one. So if you have two 8K pickups, then it will become 4. If you have one 8K pickup and a 7.5K pick, or let's say you have an 8K pickup and a 7K pickup, it will become 3.5. It'll become half of the 7. And so that's where you get all that clarity. A lot of times, though, it won't necessarily affect the quote-unquote output because it completely changes the frequency response. You'll get a lot more mid-range. You'll get a lot more clarity, and it'll sound just as loud. Like if you play, for example, if you play a Telecaster in the middle position, it's very loud, but it's because, and it's half, right, of the overall output, but it's because of the frequency response. So yeah, it'll be half of the lower of the two pickups. Just that's basically.
Garner, this is probably a triggering and subjective question, but I'll ask anyway. Knowing that electric hollow and semi-hollow bodies are different than chambered bodies, do chambered bodies significantly change the quote tone of the guitar? And if so, what type of pickup best suits a chambered body guitar?
So it depends. There's a couple of different things here. One is if you take a Les Paul and a chambered Les Paul, if you take the top off of it, you'll notice that all it is just like a bunch of holes drilled in it. I mean, they're strategic, but so the guitar is not actually hollow. It's just lightened up. All of the mounting points and all of the stress points of the guitar are still the same. Now, if you go to a 335, for example, now you have basically an acoustic guitar with a beam in the middle. So there's a couple things to remember here, because people will be like, yeah, this is so airy sounding because there's air in the guitar. But what's really happening is, because you have to remember that pickups don't see or hear or sense moving air. An acoustic guitar is moving air. An electric guitar is moving a magnetic field. So your guitar is not going to sound airy because it has air in it, because your pickups do not hear, see, or sense air movement. They do not. They cannot. It is impossible. Where the difference comes in is if the mounting points of the pickups move more than they would in a solid body guitar. So when the string moves, if the pickup moves independent of the string, then you'll have a change in sound. So if it moves independent, and depending on the design of the guitar, so if you, especially like with a trapeze tailpiece, it depends on the bridge, like all that kind of stuff. If you have a center block in the guitar and the top is completely separate from the string, from the pickups, basically, my dad actually has I think it's a Guild, or maybe, no, he has a Gretsch that has one of those pickups that's mounted to the fretboard, where the bridge and all of the mechanicals of the guitar are completely separated from the pickup so that the pickup stays in one place. That would act different than if you put the pickup actually on the soundboard, because now the pickup's moving around. So the pickup moving in relation to the strings can have an effect, but air moving in a hollow body guitar cannot. Common misconception. It's totally airy, bro.
Shane. I think he's trying to mess me up, and it works. Good morning, Dovely Leslie and Lashing Dylan. That makes you sound violent. How does the just as good as theory apply to guitar pedals? Since some of the most dear and classic pedals were made with the cheapest components available at the time, I wonder if present day expensive pedals are really that much better than their clone counterparts made with cheaper electronics.
I think it has more to do with circuit design and packaging and tolerance of parts. I think that's where it comes in. I don't know. I do know. A cheap pedal sounds cheap, but it still works. Just like a cheap guitar sounds cheap, but it still works. It's the same thing. So I don't know that it necessarily, it depends. Are you a just as good as guy or not? I'm not. If I hear a very inexpensive, cheap, quote unquote, cheap guitar, I'm like, that guitar functions as a guitar shaped instrument. It might be relatively uninspiring to me, but it does function. A cheap pedal will do the same. And I think where you would hear more of the difference between those two things is probably the same exact thing. If you put 10 of them next to each other and looked at the tolerances of all of them, you would probably see some inexpensive parts based on tolerances and consistency, just like with a cheap guitar. So I don't necessarily know that there's any different. It's all in your perception of how you perceive that tool. Sometimes cheap stuff is on purpose, So on the cheap guitar side, you got Jack White. He will play the weirdest, cheapest guitar, and he makes it work because he figures out a sound that it makes. The same thing with pedals. There's all these old pedals, that were really cheap garbage back in the day, but they do a thing and people use them for that thing and it makes sense. So I think it just depends on your perception of what you're trying to get out of that thing, Also, I need score updates on the
somebody sent you one already.
on the Capitals Canes game too. by the way. So please keep me up to date on that.
Who's Capitals and Canes?
Washington
Okay.
Capitals and
Box Guitars Rock said Washington scores, but it was offside. Still 1-1.
oh, good. I want the Canes to win that.
Nick. Woo. Hi, Leslie and Dylan. Hope you are both well. I'm hankering after a 335 style guitar. I've never had or even played one, so I know I need to go and play one to get a feel for it. I wondered what your thoughts are on the recent Epiphone inspired by Gibson custom shop models.
They're awesome.
They have a 59 355 model as well as a 62 335 model. They appear to be using quality components. I'm not bothered that they were made in China as long as it's a good guitar. I'm not a just as good as type of guy, but I also know my budget and it doesn't stretch to Gibson, so this seems to be a good value option to get the ES vibe. With regards to Gibson, I've never had a nitro guitar, so I'm not yearning for that smell or the aging of the finish, so I can look past that. Alternatively, I've considered Eastman T59 and T486 for a similar take on an ES.
I'm going to tell you to get an Epiphone. I think that you should. I think that I've had some of those quote unquote custom shop Epiphone things, and they're really good. The pickups are really good. The pots are really good. The guitars are really good. They still feel like an Epiphone, but like you said, that's not a thing for you. And I think they are, and not even for the money or just as good as or anything. I think just standing on their own, I think they're a really good guitar. And I would buy one. If I didn't have the hang up about the finish, I probably would own one. Well, I did own one and I got rid of it, but that's why. So if I didn't have the hang up about the finish, I would totally own one. So I would say in your situation, go ahead and grab it. Yeah. And as far as the 59 versus 62 thing, I don't know that necessarily matters unless you have if you look at the specs and just choose the one you want. That sounds stupid, but I mean, like, I don't off the top of my head know what the difference in specs are as far as like, neck profiles and stuff. So just, choose, whichever one has the bold new graphics that you want between those two things, grab that one. I don't think it matters that much, but I would say get the Epiphone.
And Tryon is probably best because that is a big guitar.
It is a big guitar. It is a big guitar, and an ES is a different thing. It is a different. It's a different thing. They feel different. They sound different. They play different. They balance different. I would say that going to an ES 335 from a conventional guitar is the same as going to an Explorer or a Firebird from a conventional guitar. Like they're that like, okay, wait a minute. I have to get used to this for a second. And you will probably if it's something you want, but it's kind of like that.
Super chat from Kyle Ketchamonia. Thank you for the super chat, Kyle. He said, my Dylan dog ears are being installed in my casino. Also excited for my other custom Dylan P90 soap bars. Thanks.
Rad. Those should be to you pretty soon, although you're in Canada, so we'll just see how that... They're shipped. They're just... I don't know if they're to you yet.
Box Guitars Rock said Washington penalty. Just interrupt with the hockey update.
Hey, man. I mean, I could just put it on right there, but then that would be super distracting.
No.
That would not be fair.
All right, that was all of the Patreon YouTube stuff.
Awesome. We got questions over there in the question zone?
I think there is some, but I'm going to start at the beginning.
Okay.
Robert Hastings was here for a little bit. His rehearsal was running late, but he's probably gone now. Hello, Leslie and Dylan. Great video on the 8 questions. I enjoyed the comments. Thank you.
It was fun, and I'm glad. I feel like everybody else read the comments too. Like it was a true community thing, and it was super fun. I got to figure out how to do more of that stuff because it was really fun.
Does Hawkman Hawks usually stay around till after hours?
Yeah, usually.
Okay. I'm going to wait on his then, unless we run out of time.
Okay.
I mean, unless we have extra time.
Okay.
Chicken Waller Farm said, I absolutely loved the 8-question video.
Awesome.
Stu Crombie said, my guitars are cool to me, but not for everyone. Most are parts guitars.
Yeah, see, and you commented on that thing, even though you comment all the time. And I was like, he had some stuff or said some stuff about some guitars that I didn't expect either. So it was just fun. It was just fun. I really liked it.
Same thing with Hans's comment. I'm going to hold that unless we have extra time. Van Shank Guitars. Oh, I should put this on the screen because Van Shank Guitars is celebrating 53 months of membership.
That's bonkers.
Sorry for being absent the last month. Got sidetracked with the election. Life happens.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there it went. I didn't do that. Super chat from Joey Dano Guitars. Thanks for the super chat, Doug. He said, driving in traffic. Just wanted to say hi. Looking forward to seeing you guys at the end of the month. Driving in traffic. Just wanted to say hi. Looking forward to seeing you guys at the end of the month. I don't think he meant to double that.
I wonder if he's maybe he's voice to texting,
or maybe it like looked like it deleted and then he did it again.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you, Doug.
Be careful.
And yeah, keep in touch with me about that. So we make sure that we cross paths because I have a guitar for you.
Cross paths.
Yep.
All right. Paco Galvez said, you have definitely enlightened and educated me on pots and pickups and wiring. Thanks. I don't think that's the name I've seen before. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Thank you, man.
The UB.
Haven't seen that name either.
I was told there would be no math when you were doing all your calculations.
Yeah.
Then Vox Guitars Rock said, I prefer drummer math as long as it doesn't speed up.
1, 1, 1, 1.
David Richards, do they make thin line LPs?
Yeah, they do. I want to say, and honestly, they were kind of in the bad years, but if you can get one, they're really cool. What did they call those things? They called them, I want to say it was called an Elite or something. And it was like in the 2019, 2018 era. You can find them. They had F holes and they were like a center block, like a 335. They're basically a Les Paul shaped arch top with a 335, and they were really pretty and super cool. And I bet they don't sell for a lot, in relation to modern stuff.
Jim Cunningham, what percentage of pots and caps do you send back because they don't come within your quality range?
None, because I buy good ones every once in a while. And honestly, if I get a bad one, I just throw it away. Cause it's that rare. It's literally that rare. And actually I could probably count, maybe on 2 hands, the amount of times I've had to do that in 11 years. It's hardly been any, because we buy good stuff, from a good vendor who gives us really good tolerance stuff.
Casey Lee said Les Paul Classic Light.
That's the one. I was literally about to Google it right now because I was trying to remember, and they came in pretty colors too, like kind of PRS-y colors, like blues and greens, and they were really neat guitars actually. And then a sunburst too, obviously.
New gun guy. Dylan, hi y'all. Who do you recommend for aged pick guards? I'm looking for an aged Strat mint green pick guard. Thanks.
Man, there's a guy on eBay. I've never bought one from him, but I've got a buddy who's like serious about his aged mint green pick guards, and he gets them from this guy on eBay. They're like $80. I cannot remember. Who is that?
I don't know. I already turned the comment off.
Oh.
Once I ask it, I didn't.
Oh.
I can probably find it.
I just was curious if it was somebody on Patreon or somebody that I could find later.
New gun guy.
Oh, no, he's not. Okay, so keep going and I'll see if I can find it, because this dude's real good. His stuff is really good.
FU says, sorry, bro. Heard that vid on the drive home. Been working a lot and crashed out. Forgot to ever comment on the egg question.
Oh, no worries, man.
Chicken Waller Farm says, I have to come clean about one of my answers to the 8. I don't practice 30 minutes every night because I have to prioritize my time on Thursday night.
Hey, that's right. Yeah, I see them on here, but I don't think this is the same guy. Nope, because it says shipped from Singapore. No, it's a dude. It's a guy in the United States, and he ages new ones, and they come out awesome. And the screw holes are a little. I don't know if he tumbles them or what he does, but man, they're really good. And I can't remember who it is though.
Wait, how do you dismiss an Amber Alert?
I don't know. I just silenced it.
Oh.
Who's Amber?
New gun guy said, is it MJT on eBay?
Now, MJT might do them. And if he does them, he's probably really good, because MJT stuff is really nice. And MJT has a website also, so you might check that out. But I honestly don't know the answer to that.
Super chat from Van Shank Guitars. Thank you for the super chat. Ivan, he said, just FYI, Canada Post may go back on strike again.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's frustrating.
It is. I'd like to use DHL, but DHL is so expensive because we don't ship enough internationally. So it ends up being like $60 to send something DHL. And I wish I could, because they're so reliable, but whatever. And fast, super fast.
Except for whatever I'm waiting on.
I order a knife from Knifeware in wherever Knifeware comes from. So this is a good example. Knifeware. Remember I ordered all that stuff. They're from Canada, and I ordered like a Japanese knife, and I ordered a wok, and I ordered a bunch of stuff, and it came in like 5 different shipments over like 2 days, and it was all like 2-day air from Canada. I don't know how they could afford to even do it, because they had like 4 stores or whatever, and they sent them individually from different stores. But yeah, I could never afford to do that, so I don't know how that works. Anyway.
All right.
There's a soft bed, but the dog's just going to lay in the middle of the floor.
The J Music. I've been listening, but also at work, so I'm late saying I really enjoyed the 8-question video and comments. I thought it was a cool and different idea.
Thanks, man.
John plays the guitar, says, I have a telly with a microphonic bridge pickup. I was going to fix it, and then I thought I've never had a guitar with a microphonic pickup, and they're their own sound. Fine for bedroom.
Yeah, as long as you don't go super loud. The only problem is that they'll squeal. Sometimes a microphonic pickup is fine if it howls, right? Like the Hendrix kind of thing. But sometimes they just uncontrollably squeal. So it just depends what it does.
A word I don't know how to pronounce. Is it gray mouse? I don't know. Any thoughts on 80s Electra guitars?
I think if you're into them, you should get one. I think those are in the collectible. He's like, I'm getting back in the bed. I think those are in the niche collectible range. Like if they're cool, if you think they're cool, just get one. Just make sure you get a good one. I'm shopping right now for in fact, I kind of lied because in my thing, I said my next guitar is going to be another Texas Toast, but I'm actually shopping right now. Let me say I'm doing research right now because I like Cold War stuff and I don't have a Cold War like Soviet guitar. So I'm doing some research on the right one to get. And it's one of those things where it's like Electra is the same thing. It's like, it's a brand that doesn't exist anymore. There's no point in saying, is it good? It's just like, is it cool? Do you think it's cool? Then get it. Right. These Soviet guitars suck, but a lot of them do, but I think I can make them playable if I get the right one, and it'll just be cool to say you have one. I think that's kind of where some of that 80s stuff comes into play.
Kyle Kitchemonia said he would pay extra for DHL. Hawkman Hawk says, my favorite non-tone part of my guitar is the trans trim on my Steinberger ZT3.
Oh, wow.
Maybe Mars 2 wants to know, did the blindfold results release? Yes.
Yes.
Like last week.
Last week. Mm-hmm.
So I almost said that wrong. Searching for Tone said, I watched the 8 questions on Patreon, so I didn't get over to answer yet.
Thank you.
I don't know what this is referring to. Jim Cunningham said, I feel so much relief since you used the F word, LOL. What did you say?
I don't recall using the F word.
It could have been any F word, though, so I don't know what it was.
Fretboard. What the fret? That's a t-shirt.
Vox Guitars Rock said, a high school buddy had an L Degas Les Paul copy from way back. Good guitar, but unfortunately it got stolen. Bummer.
I just figured out a t-shirt I want to make.
Hans Moselle says he has a Cold War era Sov Tech /EH Big Muff.
Oh, wow. That's neat. Don't say anything, but this is what I want to do. In the font. Yep.
David Richards said F hole? Maybe. I don't know.
Oh, F hole. Hole.
No. I don't know where your brain is sometimes. Like, why would you do that?
I don't know.
Well, the next things I have is not really. Gray Mouse says, thanks, you got the pronunciation right. It was the picture. I went with the picture clue.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. There's a gray mouse in his picture. I was like, maybe that's what it says. I have rolling off. I have an X280 that I bought in a pawn shop for $40 in 1990. It doesn't seem to get respect except when a player plays it. Pickup recommendation?
I don't know what's in that. Yeah, I don't know what's in that. Tell me what's in that, and I'll give you an idea.
Right. What's in an X280? What is an X280?
Yeah, is it a Steinberger? Is that what Hawkman Hawk said? If it's just humbuckers, then I would put our Super 8 in it.
John Plays the Guitar says Gibson Marauders had a pickup blend knob instead of a toggle switch. Adam Jones from Tool likes Marauders. Why isn't this feature more common?
Because I think a lot of people don't like them because because a pickup switch is faster. And I think there's not as many people that like the in-betweenness of that, if that makes sense.
Wasn't that a car?
Yes.
Wasn't it fast?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm like, why did I forget about that?
It's a Mercury Marauder. It's like a black Crown Vic with sweet wheels. And a relatively fast motor. I think it had the Mustang motor in it. Or maybe it had a 4.6, some kind of, I don't know.
Tazzy Tim says, what the fret is going on? Ron Carrillo says, might be late, but I did enjoy your relic guitar video.
Oh, thanks, man.
Gray Mouse says it has 2 humbuckers.
Yep, Super 8s. That's what I put in it. Kind of metal, kind of not. Super 8. Super, like versatile, but heavier if you want, which is what I would put in that guitar. I think that'd be pretty cool. That's what I would do.
All right. You want to take some random stuff while people get caught up on asking things?
Sure.
Hogman Hog says, I'm hanging out at a campsite at Willow Tree RV Resort in Longs, South Carolina. Y'all been? Nice big sites.
No.
We have not. I did Google it to see where it was at, and it's definitely not an area we've been. It's like, it looks like it's in the middle of nowhere on the South Carolina, North Carolina border.
Yeah, we haven't spent much time up there.
It's like north. Now I don't remember if it was east or west, but like straight north of Conway almost. So like, I don't know why we would be that way. I feel like you must be going somewhere. And then I was like, wait, have we been through there? And so I looked at either the home trip or the Myrtle Beach trip from Southern Pines, and it wasn't either of those either. So we've never been through there.
Speaking of North Carolina, so the Hurricanes are playing. The Carolina Hurricanes are playing in the playoffs. But Dog Dr. Tim texted me the other day, and he's like, next hockey season you should come up and we could go to a Canes game, and then go to Franklin Christoph. And I'm like, that's a good idea.
Sounds like a terrible time.
Yeah.
All right, let me see if anything else related came in first. Sean Zimmerman said, Black Crown Vic with sweet wheels. Very good explanation.
I mean, that's pretty much what they were, right? They had cool interiors too, and they were fast. I mean, for what they were.
I saw my dream truck today.
Black Yukon two-door.
Totally blacked out.
Yukon two-door.
Mm-hmm. It was in good shape too. Passed him on the railroad track.
Oh, I thought you saw one for sale.
No. I saw somebody driving one. I was like, dang, that looks nice.
Mm-hmm.
Zero use.
I don't know. It could get down our grandson's driveway. Be the only thing you'd use it for, but you'd use it.
It'd have zero technology.
I know.
I guess you could upgrade that stuff.
Oh, yeah. You just we did it in our old Jeep. We put a thing in there, and all of a sudden you have CarPlay and all that. And
let me double check again. Nope, it's pretty quiet over there. Maybe everybody's watching hockey. Hans Moselle said, I just received my 2 new pens. Thank you for the discount, Dylan and Leslie.
Nice. I wonder what he got.
I don't know. He didn't say.
I wonder what he got.
Pooh Ninja says, how many dog toys get ignored for a stick or dropped popcorn?
We don't drop popcorn because I don't like to give my dogs popcorn. The toys thing, our dogs play with the toys. They
we don't have any trees in the back, so there's no stick.
Yeah, in the front there's this. Every once in a while we'll have to deal with a stick,
But he's not giving up a toy for it. He doesn't
No.
have anything.
No, we've been really good with him about no people food, and dog toys are his toys. And so he'll still take off with a shoe every once in a while, but
He doesn't chew it though. It's just like a, haha, I have your shoe.
yeah, and he'll run off with
And
it.
then he realized you won't play the game, so he doesn't care.
Yeah. So he's pretty good about just toys.
Except for Brianna's stuff. But she put it up finally.
Brianna's stuff, he is a little more, he chewed up Kaveco Sport.
And again, or the same
The
one?
same one.
Oh,
The green
it
one.
just has, I mean, it's still
It just has,
usable.
yeah, it just has chew marks in it.
Yeah.
He actually chewed up one of my pins too, but it didn't get damaged.
Did you say it didn't get banned?
It didn't get damaged.
Oh. Let's see.
I could just tell it was in his mouth.
Kyle Ketchamonia, thank you for the super chat. He said, I got a stand-up bass. Wanted one for decades.
That's crazy cool. I have no use for one or no place to put one. My dad has one, and they're neat. They are definitely neat. And I have a friend in Colorado that has one too. And I watch people play them. I have a friend here that is really good with it. And I watch people play them, but I don't have any desire to have one. But they're really, really cool. It's a totally different. If you play with somebody, because I've played in a band with a guy that had one, and once that thing comes out, it totally changes the music, and it changes the feel of the music. It changes how you play everything. It's weird how it does that, but it really does.
Hans said Dakota.
Oh, right on.
John plays the guitar. He said it's like cat toys ignored for a cardboard box or a bread clip tie. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, and Hans said, and the blue Formula M for the wife.
Oh, nice. Thank you for using our discount code. That helps us.
Searching for Town said no people food. That's possible. Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible.
We had to untrain one dog when we got this dog.
Yeah.
So now nobody gets people food.
Nope. And I am hardcore about that. If you come over to my house and you give my dog people food, you're not coming over again. Like, I'm serious about it.
Closest to people food they get is canned pumpkin. And that's on purpose though.
Yes. And ice out of the ice
And
machine.
I don't eat canned pumpkin, so does that even count?
Right?
Oh yeah. And the dog Zeba really likes ice cubes.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have an ice maker that looks like a little dorm fridge, like a separate ice maker. And so every time you go over there and open the door, he'll like run over. He'll be dead asleep like this. You go open that door and he's like right there. I want an ice cube, which is hilarious. I don't know why, but.
Especially since he's not very treat or food focused.
No.
So then an ice cube is just so flavorless.
That is a weird thing about him. He is not, like, I can't really use food to train him. He, if I try to use treats, it'll work. Like, let's say we're going to do sit stays. I'll stay with him 3 times. And the next time he'll spit the food out on the floor. Like, I'm done. I just don't want it. Like, you give him a treat and he'll just like spit it on the floor. Like he doesn't even want it. It's weird. I've never had a dog like that. Every dog I've been like, yes, I want all the things you can put in my mouth. And then he's like, nope.
Don't care.
Don't care.
Thatch. The pickups in my 83 PV T15 are shot. Is refurbish a thing? It was my first guitar that was given to me by my dad.
I'm going to take that thing down too.
Oh,
Yeah, I would go to Odessa Pickups on Facebook. Guy's name is John Gorentz, and talk to him about rewinding those. I don't rewind those. Those are weird. Not weird, but those are like their own thing. So you'd have to find somebody that could rewind them, and John would be able to do them. Odessa Pickups on Facebook.
All right, you got Vox Guitars Rock and BC Rich coming in for you 1-1 end of the second period.
Jeez. Cool.
Super chat from Tazzy Tim. Thanks for the super chat, Tim. He said, I toured with Canned Heat in Australia in the mid 80s. The bass player, Larry the Mole Taylor, traveled with a double bass. Was so cool on stage.
Yeah, I remember Canned Heat. That's pretty neat.
John plays the guitar, says, what about cheese cubes for the dog? Well, we don't eat cheese, so that would be a problem.
Yeah. My Rottweiler, I used cheese to train him, and he was really good with it. Like, you could touch the carpet a couple of times in a couple of places, and he would like track. He could track a piece of cheese through the house. It was pretty neat. And all you had to do was like take the cube of cheese and like touch it here, touch it there, and like do it in like a dotted line coming somewhere, and he'd like track it through the house and find it. He was really good at it.
Play Gibson said, I agree. No people food for our dogs either. It's scary how unaware people are of what foods can be toxic to dogs.
Yeah, and I just care about I don't want to create bad habits with them. Just I want him to be a good dog. So I'm trying to not create bad habits. And, because he's a puppy, so he's just learning, but, he's a sporting dog. Not that I use him for hunting bears, but I want him to be fit too. I don't want him to be overweight.
Dog Dr. Tim said, for some reason, dogs love ice cubes. Jim Cunningham said, what is that camo you are wearing, bud?
This is, and I wish I had an affiliate program for these guys. They do not have an affiliate program. I have a lot of their stuff. This is Warrior Camos. I think it's warriorcamos.com. Man, they have all kind of cool stuff. Their flannel shirts are fantastic. They have the best flannel shirts.
Aunt V said, Dylan, do you need a space design to do my pickup, or are you just going to go ham?
I'm coming up with something. I got an idea. I did not forget about you. I'm probably going to work on that tomorrow. Yeah, that's going to be super cool. I think in a live stream the other day, or maybe last week, he asked about doing some custom wide ranges. That was last Thursday. And so we've been talking this week about what he wants to do on them. So yeah, we're going to do some sort of, he's got a sparkle telly. So we're going to do some sort of, I don't know, constellations or something like a star map, some kind of thing. I have an idea. I need to execute it, make sure I can execute it.
Chicken Waller Farm said, I had a border collie who was not food motivated at all, but she loved to be engulfed in a hug. So training sessions were hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is he just wants to do stuff. Like, he wants to do it right anyway. So I don't really worry about it. We go on a walk, he's 70. I weighed him today. He's 72 pounds. And we walk him and he doesn't pull. He walks awesome. And then for about 15 or 20 minutes after you get home, you take him off the leash and he follows you around right here. Like he just wants to he wants to listen to you. Like, he wants to follow you around. He's like really a good dog. So training him is actually pretty easy. Except the crazy part, because he's just high energy. So you just got to make sure. That's the other thing. You just got to wear him out. Like, just have to run him, play fetch with him.
Shane Walton says dogs shouldn't eat people. Agreed.
Nope.
Aunt V says Star Map sounds cool. The whole black sparkle guitar screams night sky. Looking forward to it.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
6 more minutes.
And I was thinking maybe a comet. Yeah, I have a couple of ideas I'm going to look for.
Did you hear about the solar flare?
No.
bad solar flare yesterday, day before. It was daytime on the other side of the world though, and they like lost radio communications. Apparently they're rated, and this
Really?
one is really bad.
Really?
I don't think it's fully effects haven't reached the earth yet. I don't remember how many days it takes, but
Interesting. Feel like goof up my Bluetooth earbuds or something.
I don't know. We definitely know it'll affect Aurora if it happens, but
Oh yeah.
I don't know what else it might affect.
Kind of the wrong time of year to see that anyway, but it would probably.
Not if the sun deems it necessary.
Well, and I was about to say, I wonder if you'd see it anyway if it was that strong. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't either. You were talking about the sky and various things. That's the only thing I had to contribute that was sky related.
It's probably from paint cans. We probably made it happen. I'm just kidding. Or whatever conspiracy about sunspots people come up with.
Hans Moselle already went to the site. Holy cow, Dylan, 15 pages of shirts to pick from. Yeah.
I
A new
told
one
you.
every Tuesday.
Yeah,
and he is loyally checking that email
Yeah.
for what new shirt
And I actually
every Tuesday.
I put it to go to junk because I had to stop. Because I was buying a new shirt every Tuesday. Dude, their long sleeve flannels are freaking amazing. They are so good. And they have heavyweight and midweight. The heavyweight ones are like jackets. They're so good. And they last a long time before they start to get kind of pilly and stuff. I really like them a lot. I bought I bought a couple shirts from another company. Oh, I bought a shirt from Rock and Roll Relics finally.
It washed well, by the way.
Did it?
Yes.
And it's amazing. That material is awesome. The stitching is awesome. It is like, they're expensive, but they are really, really good.
Somebody just said it looked like Miami Vice camo. I understand that.
So that's the thing. So each of these shirts, and I don't remember what
They all have names.
they all have
right?
names. Yeah. In fact, it says it on the inside of the collar.
Hallucination.
Yeah, they have them on the inside of the collar. It tells you what the name of the shirt is. There's another shirt brand. I don't know if it's called AR-15 something, but there's a little AR-15 right here, and I can't remember what they're called, but they're good, but they're not as good. The Warrior camo is the jam, and not all of them are camos either. They have a bunch of different patterns and stuff. Yeah, I love them. They're nice. They're just enough like lycra and cotton mix that they're soft and they wear well. They last really well, and they are shaped properly around your belt.
All right. Rob Sarasuolo? I don't know. Sorry, Rob. Hi, folks. I'm like you. I don't like giving pets people food. That said, I used to have a cat that was an absolute fiend for beer, and not just any beer either. This cat was a total snob. He loves the smell of alcohol.
This one, that I tell people when they come over, because he's very tall, right? So if you're sitting on the couch, and our couch has like cup holders in it, and I'm like, if you're sitting on the couch with a drink, you have to put your hand on it, because he will come over there and his tongue is like that long and it will go to the bottom of your drink. He will drink some alcohol if you let him. He loves the smell. And he smells like a snake. He'll walk up to it, he'll get real close and like start licking the air because he just loves the smell of it. Yep. Off topic hour.
One more.
Oh, okay.
It's 8:59 anyway. Jay Smiles, do you ever heat shrink your connection? Why did that take away my hum? I'd figure I'd try it and it helped. Thank you for all your knowledge.
I don't know if heat shrinking a connection says to me that you might have a bad solder joint. So, heat shrinking a connection won't really take away hum because it doesn't shield RF, it doesn't shield anything, and it doesn't ground anything. And the only reason it would take away hum is if you had a less than perfect solder joint to begin with, and then when you heat shrink it, it holds it tighter. That's the only thing I can think of.
All right. What time is it?
It's 9 o'clock. That means it's off topic hour. So those of you that want to ask any question you want that is not guitar related, you are welcome to do so, and we'll probably answer it. If you have a guitar question after 9 o'clock, you have to ask it in a super chat. Otherwise, we will ignore your guitar question until next week. Well, you have to come back next week and ask it before 9 o'clock. Or you can use a super chat and we'll answer it after. Anyway, ask anything you want. We have one, and if you ask questions ahead on Patreon, you can ask off-topic questions also. And there is one.
Let me get that. Shane, the NHL playoffs have been wild. Who do you think will match up in the finals? Who are you picking to win?
So who do I want to win, or who do I think is gonna win?
He said picking to win. So that means if you were betting.
Yeah, okay. So if I was betting, let me look at this real quick. So it's gonna be the Oilers and probably Dallas. Which in that case, I would like the Oilers. I would bet on the Oilers. And on the other side, I want the Leafs to make it. But it's probably going to be Florida and Carolina. And from Florida and Carolina, it's probably going to be Florida. Although I would like it to be Carolina of that mix. So my money would be on Edmonton and Florida for the final. We will see, but that's what I'm guessing realistically at this moment.
All right. Some other things came in. Van Shank Guitar said, I just got a shipment of boxers from Man Made today. Best underwear I've ever worn.
What's it called?
Man Made.
I'm going to have to check it out. I'm wearing Manscaped right now.
Chicken Waller Farm. Off-topic question. Dylan, given that you are a not as good as guy, where do you buy your prescription glasses? Inexpensive online places or the more expensive optometrist shops? Just curious.
So, oh, wow. Yeah, I don't cheap out. I have done that. And besides not getting my prescription right a couple times, I feel like the online places the coatings and stuff aren't as good. So like the anti-glare coatings and the anti-backwards reflection coatings. So you've probably seen it in videos and stuff. I have a lazy eye on my right eye, and so it doesn't work as well as my other one. And the other thing is I've had surgery on it so many times that I'm really sensitive to light. So sun and stuff, like I really, really care about glare, like controlling glare. And the cheaper ones just don't do it. So I do not go insane, but I do make sure that my stuff is good. These are Oakley's, I think.
Mm-hmm.
These are Oakley's, and they have the frames are Oakley's, and then I have like the anti-reflective and the anti-fog and all the coating crap on them. But I don't cheap out on sunglasses either. I cannot. And I also wear contacts too. So Yeah, basically can't cheap out on glasses because my eyes just won't put up with it.
All right. Hans Moselle said, I usually go to Cabela's and get the Redhead brand flannels. I'll have to pick up a few of these. Thanks for sharing, you two.
Redheads are awesome. I like them too for the first undetermined number of washes. Then they start to get a little pilly. So I think you will like these. So
Joshua Taft sent a few comments. I think sharing and then question. All right. Life is awesome. I suggest if you meet a good dude that you think can be uplifted, don't be scared to befriend them. May change both your lives. Can't choose your family, but friends, yes. And then he said, I got a question. Are you happy? Is life giving you what you need? And I appreciate you letting me be here. And then he said, you like guns? I worked at a gun factory. Seems most gun guys like guitars and motorcycles.
All those things. I would say affirmative to all those things. Yes, I am happy. Yes, I agree that good people are cool. And yes, I like guns. And yes, I like motorcycles. And yes, I like guitars.
Lee Asbury, off topic. What fixed blade is your favorite?
I have two. I'll tell you why. My favorite brand of fixed blade, like all their models, is Half Face Blades out of Arizona. Ex-Navy SEAL. These are mostly combat and hunting driven. And this is probably one of the smaller ones, but I really like it. These are incredible knives. But my number one all-time favorite fixed blade of all time that I carry the most is my Winkler SD1. So this is Daniel Winkler out of North Carolina. And this is ADCR V2 steel. He's the guy that did all of the weapons for Last of the Mohicans. And he is the guy, if you watch, if you know who Jack Carr is and you listen to any of his books or read any of his books, or if you watch, what's the name of that? The Terminal List on Amazon, the 2 tomahawks, those are Winkler tomahawks. These are absolutely incredible knives. Unbelievable. I love this little thing. The sheath is amazing. It carries great. ADCR V2 is really easy to touch up. So when we go to Blade Show, I'm going to Blade Show next month, and
that answers the next question. Bad Joke Guitar said, do you guys go to Blade Show?
Yeah.
Please continue.
Yeah, I'm going to Blade Show next month. I really would like to get a Jason Knight Customs fixed blade. He has done some design work with Winkler, and I really would like to get a Jason Knight Winkler, but he doesn't do that very often. So I really like one of those.
Speaking of Blade Show, did you verify Dog Day?
No, I got to do that.
You should do that. And also all of our planning conundrum, the date changed. So
what date?
That Saturday date.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that Saturday anymore?
Mm-mm.
So I spent $69 for extra tickets for nothing.
I guess, if that's what you did.
Then we're going on Saturday. I don't want to go on Friday.
Check on the dog for me. Because that's
well, I have it for Saturday. No, I know I do for Saturday. Okay, so if you want to meet me at Blade Show, oh wait, no. So apparently I have tickets for Friday and Saturday. Maybe I'll go both days. What the heck? God, that's freaking annoying. I cannot believe that. Okay, well, we scheduled something. We scheduled Blade Show for Saturday, and then we had some things come up, and so I bought Friday tickets because I'm not missing. I'm going to Blade Show, so I bought Friday tickets, which means that I wasted my it's $30 a person, so I bought an extra day, and then she just told me that those plans canceled, so now I did it for nothing. Oh well.
That's creepy.
Oh well. No big deal. It's gonna be worth it. I'm stoked. I freaking love going to Blade Show. I've been saving and saving and saving.
Super chat from Hans Moselle. Thank you for the super chat, Hans. He said, I'm not sure if this is off topic, but I've pestered all night. So do either of you play any other instruments?
Not really.
Play zero.
You play zero instruments.
Yeah.
And I don't really play any other instruments. I mean, I could say that I sort of do, but I would experiment with anything with strings, mandolin or any of that stuff. But I'm not going to tell you that I actually play them. I always wanted to learn how to play banjo.
That's weird. Please don't. David Richards. Cats have a thing where they go nuts around 9 p.m. We call it the 9 o'clock crazies. Do dogs do this?
Yeah, it's going to be about 9:30. And I'm actually surprised because he's like knocked out. So
I think it's because you were so busy today and he couldn't rest because he had to wonder where you were.
Yeah, it depends on my day. It really depends on my day. So he is so FOMO. I should have just named him FOMO. If I'm out and about and around and doing stuff and all over the place, then he's just following me the entire time. If I'm in my office, locked down, doing something, then I have a dog bed in my office and he's just sleeping there next to me. He gets a bunch of rest. And then after work, he goes nuts for a little while and then he sleeps like this. And then I'm going to say that about 9:30 or 9:45, then both of the dogs will go through zoomies like crazy, like tucked butt, running laps around the coffee table. And then and then we open the back door and they'll run out the back door. We have a pretty big backyard and it's fenced, and we have a shed that's in like one corner of the property, and it's about 5 feet off the fence, and there's like a motocross berm that they've like burned in to around the shed because they'll do laps around the shed at night. It's hilarious, actually. And Zaba's fast. He is fast.
BC Rich 581 says, I haven't gone to Cabela's since Bass Pro Shops bought them and dissolved the gun library. That was just a lot of fun to look at. Parker's, H&H, Fox, and all the other really superb double barrel 12s.
Yeah, we actually have ours has a pretty good firearms section, but I don't go there very often. I've bought a few things there, but I don't go there very often anymore. Honestly, I get most of my stuff through the mail now. It's easier. These days you can even with this stuff, with knives, with firearms, with guitars, any of it, you can get through the mail stuff. And just like when you buy stuff from me, you're still supporting a small business. I bought my Nighthawk from someplace in New Hampshire. It was like just a guy in a shop. He called me, I actually bought it on Gunbroker. And then he called me the next morning. He called me and he's like, dude, you're going to love this thing. He like had a 20-minute conversation with me, told me all about it, just like super personal. But it came from New Hampshire. I was like, that's really cool. I supported some small business somewhere else I didn't even know. So I do that with a lot of stuff. Pocket knives too, same thing. I've been buying a lot of stuff, and I don't have an affiliate thing with them. I really want one where I'm hoping to, that's one of the things I'm hoping to work out when I go to Blade Show with E-Knives out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. It's just a dude and his wife, and they're super cool people. I've talked to them a bunch. They're super cool people. I bought a couple knives from them now. And yeah, they have a bunch of people working for them, but it's, you know, a fairly good size operation. I bet they have a dozen people there. But it's just a small business in Chattanooga, you know. It's not like you're buying it from some huge company. It's just this married couple and a few people. And so it felt really good to buy something from them. I bought my Chris Reeve Umnums on from them, and I bought your Hera Mini, your purple Hera Mini from them.
Yep. David Richards said, I had no idea you could purchase firearms on the internet.
Yeah, so the way it works is you purchase it, and then it has to go to a federally licensed firearm place. So basically, I have a membership at our local range, and so I can go there. I don't have to pay range fees. I just go there whenever I want. And one of the perks of that is they'll do transfers for you. So you just have it shipped there. Steve calls me and he's like, hey, your thing came in. Okay, thanks. And I'll go over there. And I still have to sign the same paperwork. I still have to go through the same stuff. You know, there's no loophole to it or anything. You have to do the same stuff, but it just makes it easy. Now I don't have to deal with anybody. And I know those guys, they'll just, you know, call me or text me. So it's pretty easy.
Dog Dr. Tim, do you prefer folding knives over fixed blades? I can't decide. Folders are easier to carry, but I love fixed blades.
So that's an interesting question because I probably said this before. You probably heard me say it before. I don't really have many things that I don't actually use. So like I have a tomahawk. Obviously, I'm not going to carry that. I have a couple of swords and I have a, you know, katana and stuff. I'm not going to carry that. But when it comes to even fixed blades, the biggest fixed blade I have is 4 inches. I like to be able to carry them. So for me, what determines that, whether I even buy it in the first place, is first of all, the blade is usually about 3.5 inches at the longest. The length is typically 7 inches or less, and the sheath system and how it attaches has to be really good for me to do it, for me to want it. So that's a thing. I always have a folder on me, always. Like I never, in fact, I usually have a couple. So I typically have, well, my money clip is an automatic knife because it's a Microtech Exocet. That's actually my money clip. It's got my credit cards and my cash in it. And then, because it's got a money clip on the side of it. So that's actually my wallet. And then I typically have a folder in my pocket, my right front pocket. I always have a fixed blade in my backpack. So I'll typically have a 3.5 or 4 inch fixed blade in my backpack. That is the backpack that I carry. Like anytime we leave the house, I have 2. I have a sling that's a little bit smaller for certain things. And then I have a full-size backpack, a Vertex full-size backpack with body armor in it and everything. And I carry that 99% of the time. And so that'll have a fixed blade in it. My pen case has a little automatic in it. So I always have a folder with me, always. And about 80% of the time I have a fixed blade too.
Super chat from Hans Moselle. Thank you for the super chat, Hans. He said the camera is starting to do the zoom thing again. I just turned off the gestures. I feel like maybe you're doing it.
Oh, maybe.
So I just turned off gestures. So maybe that will help. That
might be why.
Because you get a little animated. So I turned it off.
Yeah, I know. It flashes a different color a lot of times when it.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Anyway, maybe that's the problem. You. I don't know. Yeah.
Or maybe it's this sweet camo shirt.
Can't find you.
Can't see me.
Let's see.
No score yet? This stuff that he sent from the Northwest is really good. It's just easy. It's not, there's nothing about it that says like, oh, dang, this is amazing. But it's just good. It's
Like the bottle.
Yeah, the bottle's really neat. It's just really good. It's something that you could drink and not worry about being in the mood for. You know, certain stuff has and it could be with any food where it has like there's a strongness to a part of the flavor that you sort of have to be in the mood for. Obviously there's a lot of scotches and bourbons and stuff and whiskeys that are like that. Or if it's really peaty or if it's really sweet or something, you kind of have to be in the mood for it. Where this one's just like really good, but just not overwhelming in any one area.
All right. No score updates yet. I assume it's still 1-1. So BC Rich 581 is actually in communication with his friend who was at the game.
Oh, wow. Neato.
All right. Jim Cunningham, do you have any kind of knife sharpener that you think is great?
Yes. Yes. My favorite knife sharpener is a TS Prof.
Somebody told you that here.
Yes. Somebody here told me to buy that.
Yep.
And I was like, are you kidding me? It's $400. I bought it.
He wasn't kidding.
He was not kidding. It is amazing. It is amazing. Now, if you only have a couple pocket knives and you're like not a fanatic like me, it might not be worth it. In that case, the Worksharp Precision Adjust is about $60. It works on the same concept, but it is very inexpensive. And for your basic pocket knife sharpening and your basic, it's very, very cool. So I would check that out. The Worksharp Precision Adjust. I have one of those too. That's what I used to use before I got this, and I like it a lot.
Tazzy Tim said, how's the back, Dylan? I only ask as I had a micro I don't know what that word is.
Discography.
Discectomy.
Ugh.
In 2000, discectomy. In 2004, too much roadie work.
I am doing okay. The last few days have been really rough. The weather has changed a bit and I'm doing a little bit better. I had, for those of you that weren't here last week, I think I said this out loud last week, that I got shingles and it was just brutal, and it still is. It still is brutal. It's going to take a few weeks probably to work through, but it hurts bad. And so that's compounding my normal back issues that I have every day. But no, today's I'm surviving today. My skin's real sensitive, like where the shingle breakout it's still healing. Here's something really weird. So shingles like attacks the nerves, right? And so, and the rash that you get is like where the nerve, for lack of a better word, where the nerve like blows it out, if that makes sense. So I have a couple of spots, like the spots that you get, where if I touch them, it hurts on the opposite side of my body because it's like hooked to the nerve that it's weird.
BC Rich said it's his friend's last big night out since his wife is due in like 4 weeks. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Might be his last nights of sleep and all kind of lasts. Let's see. Box Guitars Rock said, if a Canadian team wins the Stanley Cup, will there be tariffs? And then BC Rich 581 said, they just trimmed 7 rings off the cup near the bottom. It's kind of terrible, but
that is kind of funny.
Hans Moselle said he goes to Costco for glasses. Aunt V says, what brand ink do you use in your fountain pens? I'm a sucker for a good deep black and a super dark red.
So deep black, what do you think?
I'm not a black. I don't know. Only have one black, so I don't use blacks.
Monteverde Midnight Black is pretty good, and Sailor Black is really good. I have Sailor Black in a pen right now, and it's really good.
Okay. We don't have a favorite. Well, we do have favorite brands, I guess, but we don't use just one brand.
How many?
That was the first.
How many bottles of ink do we have? You just counted.
I don't know. I don't remember. It's ridiculous. You shouldn't share that.
It's a lot. We're gonna do a video about ink storage and ink organization and stuff here pretty soon on the other channel. Dark red, Endless, Drops of Mars, and dark red, like, Diamine, Oxblood. That's a dark red.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that ink. And when you write with it, it's like vintagey feeling, because it's like, well, it's that dark burgundy brown, dark red. And so it, especially on depending on different kind of papers, it feels sort of old fashioned when you're writing with it. I really like it.
Let's see. Jim Cunningham said, is beer a thing you enjoy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Brad Moe, flat or round earth?
Oh, flat. I'm just kidding.
Liar. Shane Walton, what knife would you choose if you had to go up against a bear?
A 300 blackout.
Seriously, like, why would you go against a bear?
Yeah.
It's weird. Knife is a poor choice.
I mean, of
against
everything,
a bear,
I have a 300 blackout. I have a 308 too, but I guess
you could just stick a knife on it. Does that count?
a
Like
300
a bayonet.
yeah, a bayonet on the end of my 300 blackout. That's probably what I would do.
Are you really going to answer?
I mean,
We don't have any blades long enough.
no. And we don't have any.
Sword?
I would want something that I would be able to throw. So, yeah. Oh, we do have a Scottish claymore back there.
You couldn't throw it, though.
You couldn't throw it,
Sucker's
but it's
heavy.
5 feet long. So,
Javelin.
yeah. 300 blackout is my final answer.
Jim Cunningham, if you were given a 1985 Harley Davidson motorcycle with the first belt drive, 5-speed, and Evolution engine, would you fix it and ride it?
I would fix it and sell it.
Kyle Ketchamonia, what's a good first time knife? I think I need one for tasks and protection. Thanks.
Ooh, tasks and protection.
So not out the front. Oh, he's in Canada.
He's in Canada.
He's very limited.
Yeah. So rules wise, I don't know what you can do up there.
Doc's not here tonight.
Yeah, Doc's not here to tell me. He would know.
Ivan probably already went to bed.
And, yep. No, the hockey game's on. He's probably still up. So just a simple folder, you know. Honestly, what you would have available up there, I would get like a $110, but the new version. So a $110 is just like the normal lockback, right? But they have newer versions of them. So it's like a $112 maybe, or the $112 Sport, something like that. And they're a little bit more modern. The locking mechanisms are a little bit more modern. The steel is a little bit better. They're not expensive. And they're probably available in Canada, I would think. So I would go with, for somebody that's newer, who doesn't want to spend $1 bajillion, Yeah, a Buck product, some sort of Buck product, because they're fantastic. They're made in the United States. They're really, really good knives. Yep. Most of them are made in the United States. Actually, I think maybe all of them are.
Chicken Waller Farm said, I just had Angel's Envy triple oak for the first time.
Ooh.
I'm typically a Scotch guy, but that bourbon was awesome. Ever had it?
I have. It's very good.
BC Rich 581 said the best single malt that I found at a really good price was available at most stores is the Speyburn 10. Not too peaty, not too briny.
Yeah, Speyburn is a little sweet for me, but I like it. I do like it.
Shane Walton said favorite not dairy milk.
Oat.
Yeah, if I had to pick one, it would probably be oat, but also depends on how I'm going to use it.
Depends on what you're using it for, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if it's ice cream, it's cashew.
Ooh, yeah.
If it's smoothies, I want soy for the extra protein.
Yep. If it's coffee,
oat.
Yep.
And I rarely ever choose almond anymore.
Same.
Oat replaced almond.
Yep. Oat, you can actually get foam, like when you're doing it.
Yep. Your friend is
bugging us.
Hans Moselle. Oh, snap, guys. How is the grandbaby?
Awesome.
Super cute. 10 weeks old today.
Yep.
Starting to babble and smile.
Yep.
So that's fun.
Yes. Yep. He came over last weekend and he was very, like, super curious. Brianna held him like face out and was walking around. She brought him in here and he's just like looking at everything and just like really like,
yep.
Yeah. I've never seen anything before.
Which is true. Joey Dano Guitar says coconut milk is the healthiest. Doesn't mean that I would choose it first. Do you ever choose the healthiest option first? Stephen Garcia said, Dylan, I love you guys. I'm a retired Army Green Beret. I use a Yarborough knife.
Oh, cool. And thanks for watching us. I don't know that I've heard your name before. If I have, I'm sorry, but I don't recall it. So welcome, or thanks for commenting, or
if he
both.
Loves us. I'm assuming he's been here before.
Yeah, but people don't always comment. So
yep.
When it's the first time I've heard the name or I remember hearing the name, I like to just say hello. Cool. Are you pretty well caught up?
I think so.
Because it's a little after 9:30 and there is hockey on. So this might be perfect.
Fox Guitars Rock says still 1-1. So you haven't missed anything.
Good. That's what we want.
All right.
Watch the last period of that game and then I'll watch the Vegas game or not the Vegas game. Who's playing tonight? What do we have tonight? Let's see. We got, is it Dallas? Is it Dallas or is it, yeah, maybe it's Dallas. Cool. Well, thanks, guys. This has been fun. Maybe we'll see you in a video tomorrow.